Welcome back, everybody. We're diving deep today, heading over to New London, Wisconsin.
New London, Wisconsin.
Yep, we're going to explore Emanuel Lutheran Church.
A deep dive into a church, huh? Sounds interesting.
It is, actually. We've got their announcements from February 22nd and 23rd, 2025. They're packed with all sorts of stuff, events, community news.
Church announcements, those are always a treasure trove of information, aren't they? Gives you a real sense of the community.
Totally. This one, well, think of it like peeking right into the lifeblood of this bustling, faith-driven community. We're talking pancake breakfasts, quilting classes.
Oh, I love a good quilting class.
And wait for it, bingo, but with a twist.
Bingo with a twist. Now I'm intrigued.
Right. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. There's something for everyone here, seriously. Got your sportsman's breakfast for all the outdoor enthusiasts out there?
Makes sense. Got to fuel up for a day out in nature, right?
Exactly. Then there are ladies' groups for fellowship and crafts.
Always a good time for crafting and good company.
You know it. And of course, the quilting class for the creative types.
Oh, yes, the quilting. Did they mention what kind of quilts they're making?
All sorts, from what I gathered, basics to more intricate designs. And it's free. Taught by Cindy Platts, one of the parishioners.
Wow, free. That's pretty generous.
Right. And then there's this takeaway pound bingo. I mean, the name itself just screams fun and community spirit.
Takeaway pound bingo. You got to explain this one. How does that work?
So each player brings a wrapped gift. But here's the catch. It has to weigh exactly 1 pound.
Oh, that's clever. I bet people get really creative with those gifts.
Oh, for sure. Must be a blast to see what everyone comes up with. But beyond the fun stuff, they're also hosting a blood drive.
Ah, that's wonderful. Giving back to the community in a very practical way.
Yeah, it really shows they're committed to serving practical needs, alongside the spiritual ones.
Absolutely. It's putting faith into action. Which reminds me, what about that quilting class? It's not just a hobby, is it? It's a tradition.
Oh, totally. Passing down those skills, connecting generations. Think about it. Quilting circles, they've always been a place for folks to gather, share stories.
Build community. And offering it for free, that says something about how much they value keeping those traditions alive.
It's like a tangible way to bridge those generational gaps. And speaking of passing on values, let's talk about Camp Bird.
Camp Bird, is that like a summer camp thing?
You got it. For kids in grades 5 through 8, happens in Cribbets. And yeah, there's archery, canoeing, campfires, all that good stuff.
Sounds idyllic. Bet those kids have a blast.
Oh, I'm sure they do. But it's not all just fun and games. There's Bible study woven in there, too.
Makes sense. A good balance of faith and outdoor adventure.
Exactly. It's $250 a week with a sibling discount. Not bad for a whole week of camp, if you ask me.
Not at all. Offering that kind of experience, it really shows an investment in those kids, their development.
Couldn't agree more. Giving them that chance to connect with their faith in such a, fun and engaging way. It's valuable.
Absolutely. Now, you mentioned something about financial transparency earlier. That caught my attention.
Oh, yeah. I got to say, I was really impressed with this. They lay it all out. Weekly attendance, offerings, even break down the budgetary versus non-budgetary contributions.
Wow, that's pretty detailed. Most churches, they don't usually go that deep in their announcements.
I know, right? And it's not just about showing the numbers. It's about building trust within the congregation. People see how the money is being used.
Makes them feel more involved, more connected to the church's mission.
Exactly. They even tell you how much they need each week to meet their budget. Talk about transparency.
Wow. Speaking of being upfront, they've got some staff updates too, right?
Oh yeah, big news on that front. They're welcoming a new teacher and assistant principal, Darren Vogt.
New teacher, huh? Where's he coming from?
All the way from California. He's taking over for Stephen Berg, whose time at Emanuel Lutheran's coming to an end.
California to Wisconsin, that's quite a move.
It is. And, it got me thinking about that call system some churches have.
Ah, yes. It's not just a job change, is it? It's deeper than that. A real sense of calling.
Exactly. Must be a big decision for everyone involved, both congregations. Speaking of the staff, they list the whole team in these announcements. Pastors, principal, music director.
Wow, the whole shebang. Must be a pretty big staff for a church in New London.
It is, actually. And they even include contact info for each person. So it's like a who's who of Emanuel Lutheran.
I like that. Creates a sense of openness, makes people feel more comfortable reaching out.
For sure. Okay, ready to shift gears a bit. Let's talk about Lent.
Ah, Lent. Time for reflection, preparation for Easter. Lots of churches have special events and services during this time.
They do, and Emanuel Lutheran is no exception. They've got midweek devotions, Lenten suppers hosted by different groups. Each week even has a specific theme.
Themes? That's interesting. What kind of themes?
Oh, they're thought-provoking, for sure. Like, Lord have mercy for our incessant idolatry.
Wow, that's pretty powerful. Gets you thinking, for sure.
Right. It's about looking inward, reflecting on your relationship with God, with each other.
And it's not just about introspection. They're also doing something with the offerings from those Lenten suppers, right?
Yeah, they're using them to fund Easter triptych paintings.
Triptych
It's
paintings.
a three-part work of art, often used for altarpieces. Imagine how impactful that'll be, especially during Easter.
Absolutely. It's a beautiful way to connect the community's generosity to something that will enhance their worship space.
It really is. Okay, so Lent seems pretty packed, but then we hit Holy Week. Things really ramp up.
Holy Week, it's the culmination of Lent, leading up to Easter Sunday. Lots of important events packed into those few days.
You said it. Maundy Thursday services, Good Friday services. They even have a Tenebrae service.
Tenebrae, it's a unique service. Very moving, very somber. Focuses on the last hours of Jesus' life.
It sounds incredibly powerful. And then, of course, Easter Sunday, the big celebration.
The heart of the Christian faith, the resurrection.
Exactly. And they've got a sunrise service at 6 a.m., an Easter festival service at 8 a.m., and another one at 10:30 a.m.
Wow, they're covering all the bases, making sure everyone has a chance to celebrate.
Plus an Easter breakfast from 7 a.m. to 10:30 a.m.
Talk about catering to everyone's schedule.
Right. And they even make a point of saying there's no Saturday or Monday evening worship that week. I appreciate that kind of attention to detail.
Me too. It shows they're really thinking about their congregation, anticipating questions. Now, remember Darren Vogt, the new teacher?
Mm-hmm.
His arrival, it's not the only call they mention. They've got open dates for radio broadcasts that can be sponsored, in memory of someone or in honor of someone special.
Oh, right. That's a nice way to remember loved ones while also supporting the church. And it only costs $163 per broadcast.
$163. That's not bad at all. And they have dates available starting March 19th.
Yep, March 19th. It's a pretty unique way to honor someone, and it speaks to how important radio still is, even in 2025.
Especially for reaching those who might not be online or prefer that traditional medium.
Exactly. Okay, before we jump to the school, let's touch on those Bible studies and support groups. They've got a pretty diverse selection, it seems.
They do. There's one about their newly renovated worship space, another delving into the book of Acts. There's even one specifically for women exploring the stories of women in the Bible.
Lots to choose from. It really highlights their commitment to, ongoing learning and spiritual growth.
It's about recognizing that faith is a journey, right? And everyone's at a different point on that path.
Precisely. I was especially touched by the Grief Share Support Group. It's a 13-week program, and you can join anytime.
Grief Share, that's a fantastic resource for anyone who's experienced loss.
I agree. And get this, all the materials are free. No cost to participate at all.
Wow, that's really generous of them. Providing that kind of support, it's crucial, and it says a lot about their compassion, their care for the community.
It does. Ready to delve into the world of Emanuel Lutheran School?
Oh, absolutely. Let's dive in.
Okay, so Emanuel Lutheran School, this isn't just like a little Sunday school thing, right?
Oh, no, not at all. This is a full-fledged K-8 school. Pretty impressive, actually.
It is, and it seems so integrated into the whole church mission,
Absolutely. And they're clearly serious about providing a good education.
Oh, yeah. You can really see that emphasis on both, academic excellence and spiritual formation. Nurturing the whole child, as they say.
It's a holistic approach, for sure. And they're not just talking about it either. They're actively enrolling for the next school year, 2025, 2026.
They are. And get this, the 3K and 4K classes are filling up fast. Must be a popular choice for families in the area.
Speaks volumes about their reputation, and they're encouraging families to consider joining their learning community. They even mention that connection to Fox Valley Lutheran High School.
FVLHS, right? They're having a family open house on March 10th.
Oh, that's a great idea. Gives prospective students and their families a chance to check out the school, meet the teachers.
Get a feel for the environment. Smart move. That connection between the elementary and high school is important.
It is. It provides a sense of continuity, for the students as they move up. And speaking of making education accessible, did you see that they're promoting the Wisconsin Parental Choice Program?
The WPCP? Yeah, that's a big deal. It allows certain students to attend both Emmanuel and FDLHS tuition-free.
Wow, tuition free. That's incredible. Opens up a whole world of opportunities for families who might not otherwise be able to afford a private Christian education.
It's a game changer for sure. Shows a real commitment to making quality education accessible. Oh, and remember those basketball tournaments we talked about earlier?
Yeah, the church had teams.
The school did, Emanuel Lutheran school teams. And they did pretty well.
Did they win?
Some of them did, yeah. But what I really liked was they highlighted not just the wins, but the sportsmanship. They even won a Christian sportsmanship award.
That's awesome. Shows what they prioritize, right? Not just about winning at all costs.
Exactly. Teamwork, dedication, positive attitude. And they encourage the whole community to come out and support the teams, that community spirit again.
It's contagious. And speaking of community support, they thanked everyone who donated baked goods and volunteered at that Northern Wisconsin District Teachers Conference.
Oh, right. It might seem like a small thing, but it really shows that partnership between parents, teachers, the whole congregation.
It's those little things that make a big difference. Now, I know we've covered a lot, but we've got more to explore. There's a whole section on radio broadcasts, Bible studies, and support groups.
It's amazing how much they fit into these announcements. Okay, let's start with the radio broadcasts. They're offering dedicated slots that people can sponsor, in memory of someone or to honor someone.
A lovely way to remember loved ones and support the term at the same time. Radio's still going strong even in 2025.
It is, reaching a wider audience. And then there's the Bible studies and support groups. They seem to have something for everyone.
Right. No matter where you are in your faith journey, there's a group for you. They have one on the newly renovated worship space, one exploring the book of Acts.
And one specifically for women, right? Delving deeper into the stories of women in the Bible.
Exactly. It's fantastic. Really shows their commitment to lifelong learning.
Oh, and don't forget that Grief Share support group, that 13-week program we talked about earlier.
Oh, yeah, Grief Share. Such an important resource for those dealing with loss.
I agree. And it's so generous that they offer all the materials for free, and you can join anytime.
No barriers to entry, just open arms and support. It's really heartwarming to see. They even have a dedicated email address for prayer requests.
prayers@emmanuelnl.org, right?
Yep. It's like they're saying, we're here for you, whatever you're going through.
Such a beautiful sentiment. And it leads us to another important aspect, pastoral care. They encourage people to reach out if they know someone who might need a visit from the pastor, because sometimes the church might not be aware of who's struggling.
That's a really good point. It takes a village, right? We all have a role to play in looking out for one another.
Exactly. And it's not just about the church staff doing all the work. It's about empowering the whole congregation to care for them another.
Expanding that circle of support beyond the church walls. I love that they included this reminder in their announcements.
Me too. It speaks to their holistic approach, faith and community, all intertwined. Okay, I think we pretty thoroughly explored the church calendar, their school, and their commitment to outreach. Is there anything else that really stands out to you from these announcements? Going through all this, it's amazing how much Emanuel Lutheran really emphasizes community.
It's everywhere in what they do, like you said, from those different activities to how they support people in need.
Right. It's not just show up on Sunday. It's like a whole web of support all week long.
Yeah, and even the way they write these announcements, you can feel that spirit.
Totally. It's not just a boring list of stuff. It's like personal and thankful, and you can tell they want everyone to be in the loop.
They want people to be involved, not just show up.
Exactly. So wrapping up this deep dive, what's the biggest thing that sticks with you?
For me, it's how much thought they put into everything. Like you said, the Colton classes, keeping things financially transparent, even helping people who are grieving. It's all about building a stronger community.
I totally agree. It's not just going through the motions. They're really intentional about it. And it makes you think, what does this tell us about faith in 2025?
Good question. It shows that churches like this one are still super important for people.
Right. They bring people together, give them support, and even a sense of purpose, even with all the technology we have.
Exactly. We still need that human connection, those shared experiences.
Could have said it better myself. Well, folks, that's our deep dive for today. Until next time, keep diving deep.